Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on a really delicious journey. We're diving into the art of eating out in a foreign country.
That's right.
Our goal for you, our listener, is basically to give you that insider track, a shortcut to feeling confident and really immersed on your next food adventure.
Exactly. And we're not just talking about like how to order. We're looking at how key phrases and specific vocabulary can really transform a simple meal, turn it into an authentic cultural exchange.
Yeah.
Think of it as your guide, sort of, to navigating those unexpected delights and, well, the delicious complexities of a foreign menu.
So, our setting for this deep dive, imagine this charming family-run restaurant. It's tucked away in a bustling seaside town in Mexico.
Hope we can picture it.
Yeah, vibrant, hand-painted tiles, that sort of comforting hum of local chat, and the smell, that irresistible aroma of fresh seafood just drifting through the air.
Okay, get ready to join us at the table then. We're going to unpack a menu that's just brimming with local specialties.
And discover how just a few, well-placed words can unlock a really unforgettable experience.
Mm-hmm.
So stepping into that restaurant, you immediately feel kind of at home.
Mm-hmm.
Our waiter, Carlos, greets us with this really warm smile, presents the menu,
Right.
and honestly, everything on it looks incredible right off the bat.
It really does. And instantly, certain things just jump out at you. Ceviche de camarón, pescado a la talla, tacos de pescado, sopa de mariscos.
Yeah.
And you find yourself thinking, okay, what is pescado a la talla? It turns out it's grilled fish with a spicy sauce. A perfect
Yeah,
example, really, of how quickly questions pop up when you're genuinely curious about the local food.
precisely. And the sopa de mariscos, that sounds particularly tempting, but one immediate thought comes up. Portion size.
Always a good question.
Right. So we quickly asked Carlos, perdón, ¿podríamos preguntar algo sobre las porciones? Which just means, excuse me, could we ask about the portions? Just to be sure we weren't about to order way too much.
And Carlos was brilliant, super helpful. He clarified that the ceviche is, it's a starter, about 1 cup.
Okay.
While sopa, that's a generous, really substantial meal, he basically said, yeah, that'll definitely leave you feeling full.
So with that sorted, we were ready. We decided, okay, 1 ceviche de camarón as an appetizer
Good start.
and 1 sopa de mariscos to share as our main course.
Smart move. Sharing the soup. And with the soup, we went for tortillas, obviously.
Naturally.
And we also asked for a bottle of the house white wine. Often a really fantastic local choice with seafood, right?
Really is. And it was kind of a subtle moment, but I remember thinking, I'm surprised they even offer wine in these casual places.
Yeah, you don't always expect it.
And then this clear preference just kind of popped up. I really prefer local wine when I'm trying traditional food. That little observation actually led to a much richer experience, I think.
It really does. That moment of surprise, I'm surprised they offer wine. It's not just a random thought. It's actually a key to unlocking deeper conversations. It shows you're engaged, not just like eating. It bridges that gap between just observing and genuinely connecting.
Yeah, definitely.
And prefer, that's such a useful verb for choice. You can say, I prefer X over Y, or maybe I'd prefer X, like I prefer tortillas over bread, or I much prefer the spicy sauce, things like that.
Exactly. These aren't just words, they're tools. They signal you're paying attention. Imagine saying, wow, I can't believe how fresh this is.
Right.
Or that's unexpected in like the best way.
Yeah.
These simple phrases, these just open doors to more authentic interactions, don't they?
They absolutely do. They show you're not just a passive diner. You're actually, interacting with the food and the culture around it.
So the moment the food arrived,
Yeah.
pure magic. That ceviche de camarón, incredibly fresh.
Looked amazing.
The shrimp was perfectly firm, and that citrus marinade, delightfully tangy and bright, just zingy.
Yeah, and I was immediately struck by the spice level. It had a real kick.
It did.
But it wasn't just heat for heat's sake,
Yeah.
The flavors were so beautifully balanced. Then, moving on to the sopa de mariscos.
Wow, incredibly rich, savory. I honestly didn't expect such a profound, deep seafood flavor.
Yeah.
The broth tasted like it had genuinely been simmered for hours.
Yeah, and the sheer amount of seafood in that soup, clams, fish, squid, it was like a proper seafood carnival in a bowl.
Totally.
Plus, those tortillas were just perfect for soaking up every last drop of that incredible broth. Can't waste that.
No way. So, okay, after tasting both, the big question, which dish really captured your preference? Ceviche or soup?
Oof, that's tough. Both were genuinely fantastic, but for me, I think the
Right.
sheer comfort of that soup, especially on maybe a cooler evening, that might just edge it out.
Okay, interesting.
What about you? Did one stand out more? What made it, like, truly memorable for you?
It is a tough choice. I really did enjoy the spice in the ceviche, I have to say. I generally lean towards dishes with a bit of heat,
Right.
but I'd agree the soup was exceptional. I particularly appreciated that it was broth-based, not creamy. Sometimes creaminess can just overwhelm delicate seafood flavors.
Huh?
That's true.
And you could just taste the love that went into that broth. Yeah. Really deep.
And, as we're describing these dishes, I'm realizing we've already built up quite a vocabulary just talking about the food.
We have.
What were some of those key words that came to mind for you as we were tasting?
Okay, let's see. For the ceviche, definitely tangy for that sharp citrusy flavor
Mm-hmm.
and kick for the spice. The soup was undeniably hearty, filling, comforting.
Yeah, perfect word.
And as you said, broth-based. We described the shrimp texture as firm. And those tortillas, they added a wonderful chewiness when you dip them in the soup.
And you can expand that descriptive toolkit even further, can't you? Think about crunchy, maybe for tostadas, or silky for really smooth sauce,
Oh, yeah.
tender for perfectly cooked fish, or maybe yielding for cheese that's beautifully melted, not quite gooey, but yielding.
Yielding, I like that. These words, they let you move beyond just saying good, don't they? They help you truly articulate the experience.
I really do.
Exactly. It elevates your conversation, shows a deeper appreciation. Instead of just good, you can say, wow, the fish was so tender and flaky, or the cheese inside was wonderfully creamy and yielding.
Huh, yes. So we were so captivated by the meal, we just felt like, okay, we have to try more local specialties.
Of course.
Taco Gobernador and chiles rellenos, they just immediately jumped out from the menu. So we decided, right, one of each. Plus some fresh guacamole, you can't go wrong.
Never. And Carlos, again, was so helpful giving us these fantastic descriptions. The taco gobernador, he explained, that's a shrimp-filled taco, beautifully topped with cheese on a corn tortilla.
Sounds amazing.
And the chile relleno, that's a poblano pepper stuffed with cheese, then covered in a really light batter and fried.
Oh, wow. Okay, the anticipation for trying these truly traditional dishes, it was palpable.
Yeah.
We were particularly excited, I think, to taste the unique fillings and just see how they compared to what we'd already had.
Definitely. New flavors coming up.
Yeah. So when the new dishes arrived, visually, the taco gobernador was stunning. The cheese perfectly melted over the shrimp, which looked just flawlessly grilled.
And the taste.
Yeah.
Incredible. The shrimp had this amazing smoky and succulent flavor. And that melted cheese, it added a truly delightful creamy texture.
Mhm.
Honestly, I wasn't really expecting cheese on a shrimp taco like that. That was a really pleasant surprise.
Yeah, me neither. And the chile relleno experience, equally delightful. I was genuinely surprised, actually, how the pepper wasn't bitter at all.
Right? Sometimes they can be.
Exactly. This one was sweet, a touch smoky, and the batter, wonderfully light and crispy, not heavy.
And the cheese inside, perfectly gooey. Just
Yeah.
the right blend of, like, salty and creamy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. If I had to pick a favorite between those two, I think the chili relleno might have just edged it out for me.
Okay.
Though honestly, both were excellent. And that fresh, zesty guacamole, wow. I can't believe how perfectly it complemented everything. Just cut through the richness.
It really did. Isn't it kind of profound how every single bite of food tells a story about the place, about its culture?
It really is. And our meal perfectly illustrated that. The amount of seafood, well, that wasn't just a coincidence. It directly reflected the coastal location, right?
Yeah.
The spices we tasted, they were a mirror of local preferences. And dishes like the chile relleno, they showcase the ingenious use of local peppers.
Yeah.
Stuff that's deeply rooted in the region's culinary history.
It's like eating a living piece of geography and community.
Exactly. It's
Mhm.
more than just fuel. It's a direct expression of culture. From the indigenous ingredients all the way to the cherished preparation styles.
It really makes you feel connected, doesn't it?
Totally. And through that connection, you naturally pick up new vocabulary. Beyond specific ingredients like, poblano pepper, you learn words like battered, succulent, and smoky just from the experience itself.
True.
And being able to say, that's a pleasant surprise, well, that allows you to articulate those rich, unexpected moments you have.
So thinking about what you, the listener, can take from this deep dive for your own travels. Think about how those sensory words like tangy, spicy, hearty, smoky, succulent, crispy, tender, how they can elevate your food descriptions.
Yeah, move beyond just good or bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And remember the power of expressing surprise and preference. Being able to say, wow, I can't believe how fresh this is, or actually, I much prefer the broth-based soup, that allows you to truly engage and share your genuine feelings.
We even touched on those practicalities, didn't we? Like asking about portion sizes with, perdón, podríamos preguntar algo sobre las porciones, and the simple courtesy, just complimenting the chef. Small things.
These aren't just phrases, though. They're your tools. Tools for navigating the menu, expressing your tastes, and really connecting with the local culture.
So as our amazing meal drew to a close, we, politely asked Carlos for the check. La cuenta.
But before we left, we made sure to ask him, could you please tell the chef how delicious everything was, emphasizing how much we truly enjoyed it.
Yeah, important.
It's a small gesture, maybe, but culturally, it's often deeply appreciated, shows respect.
Absolutely. And Carlos's gracious response, his genuine appreciation, it really just put the perfect cap on a fantastic experience.
Yeah, felt good.
What a memorable deep dive into a meal, huh? The flavors were so bold, so diverse, and we got to practice all kinds of food description.
Absolutely. And you can really feel confident ordering and interacting like that on your next trip. Seriously, even when the menu looks completely unfamiliar.
Which it often does.
Right. Knowing how to ask questions and express surprise or delight can help you connect so much better with locals. And you truly understand the story behind what you're eating.
And knowing phrases like, I'm surprised the pepper isn't bitter, it shows you're not just like shoveling food in, you're engaging with it, paying attention to the nuances, really absorbing the experience.
Remember, expressions like, I prefer, oh, I love that, and even, I never thought it would taste this way. These are your secret weapons. Use them to share your true impressions and just enrich every interaction you have around food.
So here's something to think about. Every dish you encounter when you travel abroad, it's more than just food. It's really a living piece of history, geography, and community, all rolled into one. How will you use food as your primary guide to truly immerse yourself in the culture on your next adventure? Something to ponder.
Great question. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, eat well, travel smart, and keep practicing.